Hello folks, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. I sincerely hope everybody's doing amazingly well today. Welcome one and all. For those of you who are returning, welcome and thank you so much for your continued support. And for those of you who are brand new to this channel, welcome also. I am so glad that you found us here today at Unicorn Light Tarot. So I thought today what we would do is something a little bit different, and keeping up with, this is a timeless reading, but keeping up with the understanding and the beauty of love and light, because it is February and we are coming up to St. Valentine's Day. I thought what we would do today is messages from your unicorn about love and magic. So which unicorn has a message for you? So we have the first unicorn here, our first little unicorn baby. And then the second unicorn here, let me give it a little shake. Snow globe unicorn. And last unicorn here is our beautiful boxed unicorn here. So whichever unicorn, the energy of each one is speaking to your soul, that's the one that will have some messages of love, light, particularly love. These are sort of love messages in honor of St. Valentine's Day, which is coming up. But again, these are timeless messages. So whenever you find this video is the right time for you to get these messages. So as always, take as much time as you possibly need and go ahead and pause the video if you need to. And whenever you find your messages of love, whichever unicorn is calling your name and calling to your heart, then go ahead and grab your pile down below. All the timestamps will be listed down below, and you can go ahead and get your messages of love and light from your unicorn. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to move this globe and this one out of the way for just a second. So this is pile one. If you chose this beautiful unicorn here, let's put our unicorn right over there in the frame. So I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle these on camera. So of course the first message is going to come from the Unicorn Oracle deck. And let's see what we have here. And this will set up the context for your reading here. So we're going to choose, let's see, this one, Mother Mary, beautiful, 36. Mother Mary and the unicorns are blessing you. So let's do one more here and see what we have. Oh my goodness, Archangel Gabriel, call in the pure white light. Well, pile one, you definitely have some angelic and beautiful energy in and around you here. You have Mother Mary, the divine feminine, and you have Archangel Gabriel, call in the pure white light. So the messages here for you, the first message that I'm getting for you, if you chose this beautiful unicorn, is that trust in all that you have. The first message that I'm getting, pile one, is that, and I do sort of, I understand this on a very specific level, the idea that there's always more information to be gotten. You are definitely an inquisitive spirit, an inquisitive soul, which is a beautiful thing. And it's always great to grow and want more knowledge and to be seeking out other knowledge and all of that good stuff. And I feel as though that's always going to be part of your personality and part of your understanding of your soul and how it works. So no one's asking you to shift that. But I do feel as though, pile one, that there is a little aspect of that, whereas you don't want to necessarily get out there, or you don't think you have enough knowledge or enough wisdom to do exactly what it is that you want to do. And what I'm getting here, the message from Mother Mary and Archangel Gabriel, is that you have profound strength and wisdom that you have brought in from previous lifetimes, but you have it in this lifetime. You have a sort of pragmatic energy around you. So whatever you bring in, that's sort of esoteric and spiritual, there's nothing wishy-washy about the way that you present that. You have a very pragmatic and beautiful, grounded, very earthy, sensible way of speaking to people. You can really bring in the sort of the esoteric and really sort of ground it into an earthy format in a way that people will really gather and be able to integrate into their lives really, really easily. There's nothing whitewashy about you. Would say, you know, people come to you for the truth. Throughout your life, you've had to figure out how to say the truth, that maybe you don't offend people, or some people don't want to hear the truth. So there may be an aspect of you who that has had to learn, and it's been quite a sort of, not a violent path, but it's been a difficult path, I feel, for you, Pile 1, to figure out how to, or when to say your truth, or how to say the truth. And this is something that you've been working with, and I think that's all part and parcel of not really feeling as though you know enough to get out there and do whatever you want to do. And Mother Mary and Archangel Gabriel, I'm getting very strongly, is that you have these really beautiful and very powerful guides that you have brought into your sort of sphere of knowing and knowledge, and they want you to be out there doing what it is that you do, because you do it really well. And the understanding of truth is just wield your sword and tell your truth, and the people who resonate with that truth will resonate. So the first message is that you don't need to accomplish anything more in order to get out there. I feel as though there's a part of you that wants to stay behind sort of closed doors and present yourself like, ta-da, when you've gotten a lot of like this wisdom and knowledge down and you've integrated it. The way in which that you will work better in the world and you will connect in the way that you want to, and the way that you've been longing, is to love the understanding of who you are and the wisdom that you've gathered already. And as you get out there and share that wisdom, more wisdom will come in and make sense. So your first message of love is to love your wisdom and your journey enough to share it with others. There's no reason to wait anymore. Grab everything that you have, get out there and show it. And those baby steps, if you're not sure how to do this, then you have very powerful guides. My goodness, it doesn't get any more powerful than this. You have very powerful guides who will help you in the baby step process to move forward. And once you start on this path, all you have to do is move forward, and they will show you the next thing to go and the next thing to do. You have incredible intuition. And that's another thing. This idea of wanting to present yourself, quote unquote, when you are ready, means that sometimes when your intuition is sort of pushing you a little bit to go in this direction, sometimes you say, oh, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And you don't go down that path. And your guides are telling you, love your soul enough to trust that whatever you have is more than enough to share to the world. And the other thing is that some of you are feeling and thinking, Pile 1, is that, you know, other people have done what you're doing. Nobody is as unique as you. Everybody's completely unique. But again, you have this really sort of tell it like it is sort of attitude, which is really beautiful. You have this beautiful sense of humor and this sort of like odd quirkiness, which is really great. And I feel as though in some ways in the world, you haven't felt as though that's made you feel a little bit alien in the world and disconnected. But this is the exact attitude that is needed in this lifetime to draw other people just like you out into the world and into their power. You will be a beacon of light for people when you start on this baby step down this path. So for those of you, and again, this is a general reading, but for those of you who are resonating with this message in Pile 1, love your soul enough to get out there and do whatever it is that you need to do. And for most of you, you know what the next step is. You're just sort of waiting for divine timing. There is no divine timing. Get out there and do it. So this is your first message. So give me a second here. We are going to do the Moon Oracle card now. I love these cards. Let's get you some more messages here. Now, again, this is a timeless reading, but when I am doing this reading, it is the full moon. It's the snow moon in February. So it's a very powerful day to do some readings. But again, whenever you find this, this is a timeless reading. So let's see what we have for you here. Couple more. Realization. There you go. And the number 3. I love the number 3. It is, let's see what else. And acceptance. There you go. Okay, so a couple of other messages for you. Pile 1 is self-acceptance and love. Also, the number 3 here is bringing in new energy. I feel as though for some of you, you feel a little stuck or stagnated, or you're working on getting out of the situation that you're in so you can start anew. A lot has happened in and around you, I would say, in spiritual sense, but it hasn't really grounded in the way that you've maybe wanted in what we call the real world, in a practical sense, in the actual world. So you're still sort of quote unquote where you are. Maybe you want to move out or move jobs or sort of get to the next level in living in your life, and you're wondering if it's going to happen. So and some of you are asking or are getting ready for love or a love interest coming in, somebody who will be worthy completely of your soul, because before you've settled for people who were not worthy of your soul. There were lessons in that though, and a lot of that is the realization of everything that you've been through and your new soul family coming in. So there's definitely changes, pile 1, and for you to get into the next phase of your life that you're sort of longing for. And in that phase, yes, everything changes. Maybe a physical move, maybe definitely a shift in what you do for a living, bringing in that love that you have been getting ready for. And you've been doing the shadow work. You've been doing this work. This is not a small amount of work that you've been doing. But I feel as though there is an essence of feeling as though that you are slightly stuck. So let's give you some practical ways to get out of that. The first realization is everybody knows that on some level, everybody understands, or anybody that's attracted to this kind of reading, I would say, on somewhat of a spiritual path, understands that you create your own understanding of the world. You create your own reality, right? So I feel as though on some level everybody understands that, but really pulling in that understanding at your core and living from that, utilizing that information to your own sort of devices and shifting your reality, your timelines are slightly different to actually knowing that at your core. So this is the message that your guides are giving you. You have at any moment the power to shift your timeline and move into the person that you want to be. There is a timeline out there for you who is living the exact life that you want, with the person that you want, doing exactly what you want. Now, there's two ways of there's two sort of the Libra kind of aspect of like the two opposites, the two scales. First part is realizing that this person exists. This person in the timeline exists for you. And the second part is accepting everything that has happened to you, responsibility for everything that has happened for you, so you can step into that timeline and actually be that person that you want to be. Now, you can be that. The way in which you pull in that timeline quicker is actually to establish that person in your current reality and pull in your other reality. Bear with me, I hope this is clear. Being the person that you want to be can be done at this time, and pulling in that timeline where you already exist as that person, with everything that it is that you want and worked really hard for already exists. So the realization that this power is absolutely within you to do that, and the acceptance that you accept everything from your past and full responsibility for everything that's happened to you, so you can rise up in this person that you already are and then pull that timeline quickly to you. I hope that makes sense. Let's get some more clarity for you. So we're also going to do, bear with me here, I know this is a little bit different to what I normally do. So let's turn these like this. So what we're doing here is, this is the Fairy Tarot now. So I'm going to pull 2 more cards for you, and see what clarity we can get for you to pull you into this timeline a little bit quicker, which of course is really, once you know how you're working with this, it's not difficult to do at all. So, excuse me. All right, 7 of Winter. There is a better choice, not seeing things clearly, running away from the truth. Okay, and then we are going to do this one here. Okay. Oh, so you've got a lot of winter here. Well, you've got two cards of winter, but so we've got seeking out intellectual solution to your problem, the need to act quickly and decisively, sudden or unexpected changes. So here what we have is a change of perspective. And a change of perspective, which means that so we've already talked about the acceptance that is needed. Accept complete responsibility and accept everything from your past and then release it. But then there is, and this is a love reading. There is a necessity to forgive also. Pile 1, some of you are holding yourself back because you have not forgiven yourself for putting yourself through other things, things that have happened to you in the past. You must accept that you did not know enough then. There is a part of you that's very, very hard on yourself, Pile 1, and I want you to stop doing this. You are very hard on yourself for not having the wisdom at that time. And then when you do have the wisdom and you can see things clearly, you beat yourself up, metaphorically, but in some ways in real life, you beat yourself up for not having the wisdom back then. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. You hold yourself in so much sort of this perfectionist light, Pile 1, that I feel as though nobody can really, including yourself, nobody can really reach that. The message that I'm getting of love and light is that you came to this earth to be human. Allow yourself those mistakes. And I feel as though when those mistakes, we're going to move Mother Mary down here. I feel as though when you make these mistakes in life, you do learn from them. You allow yourself this energy to learn from them, and yet you don't forgive yourself for making them. So when you go back and you work with Archangel Gabriel, and I hope you will, for this understanding of acceptance, please accept on the level of that you did your best at that time. There must be some forgiveness for your heart. Some of you have buried a little bit of your heart and you've protected it with a wall for so many years. And now that wall is coming down, which is absolutely wonderful. But I feel as though that perfectionist attitude is stopping you a little bit, or hindering, it's not stopping you, it's hindering you a little bit to grab that reality that you know that you deserve and grab it into your current reality a little bit quicker. So I feel as though a change in perspective is what's needed. So there's a little bit of real talk going on here, Pile 1, but it's lessons of light and love. And your angels want you to step into your pure, the pureness of who you are and acceptance for all of your mistakes. And what they want you to do is pull in the mistakes and make that a part of who you are and really love your mistakes as much as all the great things that have happened in your life. Love all the messy parts that have happened too, because those messy parts are actually making you a great leader and a great teacher. Remember, we talked about it in the first two cards that came up. These are the aspects of self that when you draw in the people that you're supposed to lead or you're supposed to inspire, let's say, it's the messy parts of you that will be able to talk to the other messy parts of other people. So this is a really important part of who you are. Please accept them and love them for what they are. Also, the soul family that's coming in, a brand new division of people, a brand new aspect of self will be triggered when these people come in. These people are beautiful people just like you and have a great soul, but they've also been really messy and they understand what it is to be messy. And when you come in and around these people, there's nothing perfectionist about them. So there shouldn't be anything perfectionist about you. Nothing's perfect. And the idea of perfection or doing things completely properly, they want you to sort of throw that out because that's not really doing anything for you. So a shift in perspective from winter to summer, from darkness to light. You've been working in the dark and shedding all the darkness. They want you to move again. For some of you, you might be Libras or have a lot of Libra in your chart. I keep seeing the scales. This idea of doing things sort of quite drastically from one extreme to the other. You've been working in the darkness so long and going into shadow work. I feel as though that you, or an aspect of like the darkness of the soul, you need to come back into the light and shed some light. So they're asking for the next phase of you healing to bring yourself out of the shadow self and shine light on the shadow, and then whatever you've learned within the shadow will gain you a lot more perspective. What you're trying to do, I feel, pile one, is you've gone so deep into the shadow self, you're trying to make sense from the shadow aspect, when you can come out of this and shine some light from the light onto the shadow aspect, and things will integrate better. You're trying to make choices. You're trying to find your divinity. You're trying to move on, quote unquote, from the shadow self. And while it's amazing that you're the sort of person that's not afraid to go into the shadow, not afraid to do this work, because a lot of people are afraid of it. It takes an immense amount of courage to do what you're doing. You've done so much work in the shadow now, in the darkness. They want you to come out and shed light again. And then every aspect of what you've done will move into a much more of an integrative period. And this love that you're longing for, this way of being in the world that you're longing for, and attracting your light out there so you can bring in your real soul family here. I think you have sporadic sort of groups of soul family that are scattered, but your actual soul family that you will have, and you will move up to the level in the life and step up into this world that you're asking for. The message is clear. There's nothing that you need to do more in your life to attract all of this different aspects of your life to move into the life that you want. But you must shift your perspective from the darkness to the light. Now we have one more deck that I want to work with here. The Goddess deck here that I absolutely love. So let's get you 2 more cards from this and see what your final messages from your unicorns are. So we have, yes, the 9 of Swords, leaving everything behind. And here we have the King of Staves. Okay, so this is still a message from your angels, definitely from your very, very powerful angels, that everything that it is that you've wanted, your perspective right now is trapping you a little bit. But again, it's all the same message. Come out from the darkness so you can fully integrate from the light shining into the darkness. There's nothing more that you need to do. On some soul level, you totally understand that the echoes of the darkness that you're still carrying with you, which comes into not feeling good enough, not quite feeling worthy of what it is that you've asked for. Because let's face it, pal one, that, real talk here. I know what you feel as though you've asked for is quite huge. You've asked for the love of your life. You've asked to be on your path and inspire people. You've asked for certain things that actually feel huge to you, but feel owed to you by the universe. You came down here to do this work. The universe isn't saying, well, this is huge. The universe doesn't distinguish between $1 and $1 million. This is your perception here. So if you're asking for money, why not ask for the million rather than just to be comfortable, right? But because you've been in the darkness so long, and let's be clear, when I say the darkness, I do mean shadow work. You've gone in to do the work, but the aspect of the darkness has stayed with you a little bit. So they want you to come out. Again, the message is very clear. Come out, shine some light on your past. That's where you get the most amount of acceptance. That's when you will realize that everything you've been through was for a reason. You can put it sort of in a category, and you'll be able to take that category and file it away. It's gone. You'll be able to release it properly. Right now, you're still stuck where you are with that perspective of being in the shadow self. It's no longer needed. And in that perspective of the shadow self, it's telling you all sorts of things, like you're not worthy of it, or what you've asked for specifically is too much. It's absolutely not too much, pile one. You've done the work too. You've done the work to a huge degree to pull in the energy of this love that you're absolutely wanting, and to feel 100% at home in your own body and integrated into the world in the way that you want, and making a difference in the world and inspiring on some level that you've wanted. You're a very powerful soul. You have very powerful guardian angels that are working with you. You've asked for their help. Now, you are worthy of everything, and this realization will come into You knowing that you are absolutely worthy of everything that you've asked for. When you come out, shed some light and create that acceptance for yourself. And again, we want to remind you, all you need to do is be that person that already exists in a timeline that can be pulled into your current reality really quickly. So the message of love and light here, pile one, is that you already have what you need to move forward. You already do. All you have to do is come out of the shadow work and shine light on everything that you've done, integrate that all from your past and move forward in this absolutely glorious, glorious way and become the person that you absolutely want. And we know that you can do this. So pile one, if this resonates with you, do let me know in the comments below. Feel free to subscribe if this is energy that you feel as though you want in your life, and give me a thumbs up. It was an honor to read for you today. Do take care, pile one, and until we meet again, bye-bye. Okay, pile two, if this is you and you chose the snow globe, this beautiful little unicorn snow globe, let's get you your messages from your unicorns. What messages of love and light and magic does your unicorn have for you today? Well, of course, the first oracle we have to go in and see what they say is the unicorn oracle. So this will give us a context to our reading today. So let's go ahead and pick couple cards. Okay, wishes. Be careful what you wish for, as one will be granted. Okay. And then the second one, we have service. Service with an open heart is the key to satisfaction. So the first message that I'm getting for you, pile one, quite clearly, is that your angels want you to focus on what it is you do want and not what it is you don't want. So for most of you, you have a very practical mindset, and I've talked about this many times in my private client, my private client base, and for, you know, general readings like this, is that with a practical mind, it's absolutely wonderful. And I do understand the practical mind, because when you ask for something, you systematically go through and try and figure out every single way that this could turn out, right? If this is resonating with you, pile two, then you're one of these people. And it's just a matter of maybe getting yourself ready for, or seeing what you, trying to anticipate what happens, right? Now, I can tell you, pile two, this is something that I've done on many occasions too. And it's just a matter of perspective. There's an essence of you, pile two, that believes that when you ask for something, that you'll get it in a certain way, or you won't get it exactly how you want it, or you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And some of that is true. An aspect of that is a little bit true insofar as whenever you ask for something, you can't really, our mental capacity as humans can never really imagine what that's going to feel like and what that's going to look like, not in its whole, capacity. It's just sort of impossible. So, and we do have a slightly limited mindset for the most part. As humans, we imagine sort of a life for ourselves, but the universe is willing to give us like 3,000 times more than that. So in many ways, we do settle. But what they're saying here is there's certain things that you have asked for. And again, very different energy to pile two, or very different energy to pile one. But there's an aspect of self. You have wished for a significant other. You have wished for being of use and being of service in the world, and showing your light in a very specific way, and having the confidence to stand in your own power at will at all times. I feel as though, pile two, that you have this amazing capacity for strength and compassion and empathy. But when somebody comes in that has a little bit of darkness, you tend to, what do? You tend to sort of hold back a little bit, because you're not afraid of their darkness, but there's a little bit of you that's still afraid of criticism, or fully standing in their power, fully standing in their light, because it's almost like you don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. But the reason why the other person might be uncomfortable is because they haven't had the courage to do the work that you've done. So there's, and we always try to get you some practical, methodical ways of, integrating into your life this wisdom from these readings, so you actually come away with a version of self that you can complete with the advice that we're trying to give you here. So the practical advice here is there's a few different things going on. So your angels and the unicorns, the messages from your unicorns is show your love and light all the time. Now with unicorn energy, they're kind of quirky, right? I mean, they've got this horn in the middle of themselves. They're innately magical, but they don't dumb themselves down in any way to fit into any situations. A unicorn is a unicorn. They have this magical energy. Some people don't believe in the wisdom of unicorns and this, that, and that. They think they're fantastical. Do you think the unicorn cares? No. They're there to share their magic for people who do believe in them, and for those people who have a sense of whimsy and uniqueness. And also, unicorns are fierce. There's nothing sort of like, they're whimsical, but there's nothing sort of weak about them. So the essence of the unicorn can be applied to your light. Don't dumb down your light and your wisdom and your power in any sense of the word. When you're walking into a room, the power should shift based on your beauty and your frequency. You shouldn't feel as though you have to dumb yourself down to allow the darkness, or let's be honest, the ignorance to reign. This is really up to you to do this. And when you do this, you'll accept yourself and your power in every sense of the word. And then when you ask for something, you'll ask for something with complete confidence to the universe, knowing that you will get it and it will be received. And it will be received, yes, in a much greater way than you thought possible. But you won't have to go through this, quote unquote, sort of all the different things that can happen. And then you won't be letting in any of this sort of, what if this happens and what if that happens? Any of that negativity, trying to get ready for just in case you don't get what you've asked for. So two sides to this: claim your power in all sense of the word, and then claim with confidence when you ask for something in the world that you will get it. And you don't need to put the energy into anything just in case you don't get it. You won't need to put out that energy. You won't have to put out any kind of energy just in case you don't get it. You will know in all confidence, because your power is there, that you will get everything. And don't worry about the consequences of asking for it either. So bear with me. We're going to go into, let's do some moon cards here, moon oracle cards here. So even though this is a timeless reading, I'm actually doing this reading on the snow moon, and it's a full moon here, so there's some extra energy in here. So let's see what we have here. Balance, yes, that came up in pile 1, 2, essence of balance, and the path. So you know your path, you know what that path is. You want to be on this path, and you've done an extremely large amount of work to be on this path. Let's do this. And yet the way in which you're asking for your next sort of move is not with as much power as I feel as though you can have. So you're always, so what we can do to the idea that you have to make sure, just in case you don't get what you want, just in case that the shoe will drop. So that's the other thing. If things are going your way, there's an essence of balance that you believe that if things are going your way, it somehow won't go in your way in the future because it needs to balance out. The idea of that is very sort of human. The universe doesn't work like that. You can actually have an abundant life completely. Now, we're not suggesting that nothing will ever go wrong in your life. There's a lot that we learn from not quite getting what we think we want, and the universe is asking you to ask for something much more. But really, at the end of the day, this idea of balance that you have between the negative and positive, if you ask for a lot of positive, then some negative will come in. That's a perspective that they want you to shift. That's a very human perspective. And of course, you're human, but you also work on many esoteric and spiritual realms. And these realms you know about, you understand, and you've integrated into your consciousness. So when you ask for something, ask for it in your own power. Now, if you're standing in your own power in all aspects of your life, you can expect to achieve exactly what it is that you have asked for. Now, if you don't achieve what it is that you've asked for, it means that the universe wants you to, to go for something bigger and better. So they're preparing you for something bigger and better. We don't need to see things in positive and negative anymore. You've taken that to the extreme, and they want you to balance out that understanding of positive and negative, because it's holding you back from grabbing and getting and integrating this life that you actually want. Now, you've asked for this path. And the waxing crescent here, you're moving into who you are in order to attract everything that you want. Now, on your path, you will have true love, definitely, and you will have a love of family. There's this really overwhelming sense of wanting to be part of a family, soul family, your own family, bring your own family together. Again, this is a general reading. If you already have children, then bringing your family back together in a brand new way, in a spiritual way, where you are connected to them in a way that you don't worry constantly, in a way that you can really appreciate them in a beautiful way. If you don't have a family yet, then bringing in the aspect of having your own family and knowing what that family unit looks like in this lifetime. This you can achieve, and this you've already worked on. You have a pure heart. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to attract. And I can tell you there is somebody in your life that will be coming in, and you've done the work for them. I think for some of you, you've already dreamed about them, or you have an aspect of being around their energy already. And it's not as though you're pushing that energy away, but they're, this idea that you're going to be completely healed or completely, like, quote unquote, ready is, it's a little bit incoherent. It's just, love is incoherent. You've done the work. For most of you, you are ready to meet somebody now, and the rest of the work can be done with the other person. You don't have to be completely ready. Again, we talked about this idea of perfectionism in pile 1. That hasn't come up so much with you. There's a different perspective in here that they want you to get, but you do have an understanding of perfectionism, the idea that a lot of this healing needs to be done behind closed doors. And then again, like pile 1, you come out and go, da-da. Well, no, a lot of this healing, you've done a lot of that behind closed doors. And yes, some of it did when you go into the subconscious and when you go into deep, dark work and the shadow self. Most of that can be done on your own. I actually think that working with others is great too, but the initial aspect of that probably does need to be done on its own, but you've already done that. The rest of your healing is about claiming your power and integrating yourself back into the world so you can claim the love, the light, and get back or integrate your path to be of service the way that you are into this world. A lot of you are very creative and want your creative life to be more integrated into the world and perhaps make more of a living from it and wonder if that's okay. Absolutely. The idea that artists or creative types or spiritual beings cannot have a comfortable lifetime doing what it is that they do is absolutely ridiculous. So for those of you, again, a general reading, but for those of you, pile 2, still have a little bit of a hang up on that, and do want a comfortable life and wonder if it's okay, or if there's an aspect of the subconscious that still feels a little uncomfortable maybe about asking for this type of abundance for what you do. Stop doing that. They want you to step up and have, even an opulent life if you want. If you have more money, you can help other people out, right? That's what you can do with that. You can physically help other artists out if you have surplus money and you are comfortable in your lifetime. Don't think for a second that your soul doesn't want that. So, it's okay to ask for compensation for what you do. And if there's an aspect of self that's a little bit worried about you, having that, will it be taken away? Is it okay to ask for sort of a comfortable lifetime doing spiritual work, which I feel as though for some of you, pile 2, there is. Yes, of course it's okay. Do it. So let's get you some more information. So we have the fairy tarot here. This one's calling to me. Let's do this one. Okay, 10 of summer, emotionally fulfilling life with family or friends, raising children wisely, people you can trust. Hello, that's what we were just talking about. That's what it is that you're working for, and that's what it is that, and a lot of people say you shouldn't say that it's owed. Nobody's owed anything. But you know what? For you, we're going to say that it's owed. So it's really clear in this reading that it is owed, and that's, stop not asking for it or going around sort of a winding corner of how you ask for things. Just stand in your own power, ask for them succinctly, know that you're going to get it, and move that time. Oh, look at this. The Magician. You can do anything. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. Hello. This is exactly what we've been saying. You've done all the work. There's nothing more for you to do. I mean, there's always going to be stuff for you to do, but that's when you're integrated into the world. Everything that you want and you desire, you can absolutely get, and grab that timeline of who you are and pull that in. Be the person that you want right now by claiming your power in every sense of the word. And I mean every sense of the word. No, not looking backwards from the darkness anymore. Every sense of the word. Your heart is completely true, and everything that you want with this fulfilling family life, I keep feeling like really family life, the security of a home of your own. All of that is, and we're saying it's owed to you. For you, it's important that we say that it is owed to you. Let's do the Goddess Tarot now. This is the last message for you. 2 of these. The work is so there. You've done it. Whatever it is that you want is right there. Love, life. Okay, so stuff that you've wished for, we still, okay, there you go. So the old way versus the new way, pile 2. 9 of Cups, your wish card. Everything that you've wished for, will it come true? And again, that quote, and of course I'm paraphrasing, that keeps coming up. When you've sown your seeds, do you go back and keep digging them up to see if they're growing? You have to have trust in all of the energy that you've put out there. You've been sowing seeds for a really long time. I would say 10 years and plus. Everything's about to come to fruition. Please do not doubt yourself now. All of what you've asked for, the universe is telling you, your unicorn, your message from your unicorn is to believe in the magic that you have. What you've asked for is not really a big deal to deliver on their part. Stop seeing it as huge. You can have everything that you want in your life in opulence and abundance. You've done the work for it. You've had the courage for it. People who have done the work attract this, exactly what it is that you want. You've done the work. Move that timeline closer to you by stepping into the power and security of who you are, and stop dumbing yourself down. So others who have not done the work can sort of like have a little bit of control of the situation that you walk into. If you claim your power in every sense of the word, and really walk into every aspect of your life with this power, everything that you've asked for will come to fruition much quicker than you could ever have imagined. Now, with timelines, it's very difficult to like figure out X, Y, and Z, because time is sort of non-linear and it's really man-made. But like manifesting can be in an instant. I've manifested jobs in 30 seconds out of nowhere. This is the magic that you have at your fingertips. You absolutely have this abundance, this ability to bring in abundance. This is something that you've always had. Now, it's not always worked for you as quickly as you've wanted, because you do have a doubt. And again, it comes back to, should I be asking for all of this? Is this too much? And again, dumbing down your power in some aspects of life. Walk fully into your power in all aspects of your life. Take, don't take no for an answer. If you want something, you work with the universe. If you don't get exactly what you want, although I think you will, it's going to feel different when you get it. It means the universe is asking for more for you. But to be on your path, don't doubt your soul. You've come here to be of service. You have one of the purest souls and one of the purest hearts. You really are incredibly divine. Everybody has divinity, but there's something about you that's really divine and pure and beautiful. So some of you have protected yourself, and that's why you've dumbed down your power in the past, but it's not time to do that anymore. So pile 2, that family, that sense of longing, what it is that you want to create in this lifetime, a firm foundation, your family life is waiting for you to come right in and do what you want to do. And when you do step into that power full time, because you are extremely powerful, and maybe some of you are still a little afraid of your own power because you can sense it's really immense, but don't worry about it. You've done all the dark work. You know you're not going to do that. You're going to draw up from the darkness, and that will be your process of power, drawing from the darkness and knowing what that feels like to be in the darkness. Now you can work from the light. Pile 2, everything is ready for you to go. Walk into that power. I promise you. You can manifest your dreams at will. You've already done the work. It's just about moving that timeline right back in to your current timeline and becoming that person that you've already been. You already are that person. It's just a matter of being that person at all times. So I hope this resonated and we gave you some sort of practical tips for moving into your power and getting it, getting your family and that love that you want. If this resonated with you, feel free to give me a like, subscribe if you think that this is the kind of energy that you would love, and feel free to let me know in the comments if this resonated. I love hearing from you guys. So until we meet again, pile 2, you take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile 3, if you chose this beautiful unicorn, your unicorn wants to give you messages of love and light. So, of course, we have to start off with the unicorn oracle deck, naturally. So this will give us a context to our reading and your messages. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. Archangel Michael, use the sword of truth to help the world. Okay. And then our second one here, service with an open heart is the key to satisfaction. All right, so I feel as though that there's definitely some overarching kind of messages about stepping into one's power from pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And you have that too, but I would say it's very different energy. So your first message here, pile 3, Archangel Michael, is moving into your energy and moving into your power at all times and not dumbing down the truth to suit other people's idea of truth. Everybody has a sense of truth, right? But there is a universal truth, and it comes from compassion. It comes from honesty. And some people's truth is unfortunately subjective. But you have a sense of divinity. You have a sense of truth that is not unique, that is universal. So when you come in and around people who have a sense of truth that is subjective, you can let them have that truth. You can't necessarily move that for them. They're choosing that subjective truth from an essence of fear. And that's something that they have to work on their own. That's their own life path. And not everybody here on this earth, in this lifetime, in this generation, has the courage to move past fear. They're moving sort of in a direction of ignorance. They can change that at any time. But what's happening with you is that, especially as you're seeing in the world and what's happening, you're dumbing down your truth. And you're getting affected by the subjective version of truth. And it's making your heart sad. It's making your heart sad. Now, the first unicorn message, and this is a beautiful message of magic and light. They want to remind you, your unicorns want to remind you that you are here to be of service and to bring truth and light into this world. You're not here to dumb down or to cater to people who believe that they know the truth but know nothing of it. You're not here to cater to them. So bringing in this energy, and you're very empathic too. So this is it's hurting your heart. It's making you sad. It's bringing in the energy of darkness, of ignorance, and it's weighing you down more than it needs to be. You're not here to take on that energy. You're just not. That doesn't mean that you can't have compassion for that energy. In order to have that much fear in your life and not have the courage to do something about it, to be self-reflective, something must have happened. You can hold compassion, still be an empath, but you can release the need to hold on to that subjectivity of their version of truth. It isn't truth. You hold the truth. You know what truth is. Your version of truth is universal. Now, they may not want to hear it, but again, don't hold space for it. You're letting in this energy too much. Don't hold space for them. Again, you don't have to hold space. You can hold compassion and release that energy. They don't want you, your angels and your unicorns, the magic in you is being dumbed down, and you feel as though sometimes you get a little further off your path because you're taking in this energy too much, and you feel as though you should be able to take in all of that energy so you could integrate every aspect of self. Now, you don't need to integrate that much darkness. Your unicorns are telling you that that's not the energy that they want you to take on. You could acknowledge that it's there for sure, but you don't need to take it on. You certainly don't need to integrate it. You need to release all of that and come back to your sense of truth, which again is not subjective, it's universal. Doesn't matter that people may not want to hear it. They may not be ready to hear it. And some of them may never be ready to hear it. It doesn't matter. You stand in your own power and get back on your path of service by showing your own truth, which is universal truth. Now, bear with me here. We're going to get you some more messages. So, this is a timeless reading, but it is also a reading that is conducted on the full moon, the snow moon in February. So we've got a little extra lunar energy helping us out here. So let's see what this oracle deck comes up with. So I'm feeling this one, realization. I love it. And I'm also feeling these two. I've picked two for the other ones, but I'm feeling these two here. Acceptance. Yes. Focus your energy on your own divinity, on your own truth, and then you will be able to move forward in a much more accelerated rate than you were before. Pure acceptance for what you are. I can tell you what's happened here. Pile 3, what's happened is you've let in this understanding of darkness a little bit, or this understanding of ignorance or subjective truth, and you've let it in a way that their opinion of you, you've let in. You've let in their opinion of you, and their opinion of you is absolute rubbish. It has no sense of truth whatsoever. They were coming from a place of subjective truth, which also doesn't hold any divine truth at all. It's subjective. And then you've taken on their version of you. All they're doing is projecting. They have no idea who you are. You've let this darkness in a little bit, and it's chipped away at you, and it's made your heart really, really sad. And all you need to do is come back to your essence of truth, which is, again, not subjective. There's nothing about your truth that is subjective. You came in with universal wisdom. This is something that's manifested from many different past lives. You have an incredible amount of wisdom. Some of you know how to use herbs. Some of you know how to use magic. Some of you hold a different aspect of magic, or bringing in different sort of culturally relevant aspects and respectful ways of using different cultures and beauty. You're very open to that into your own practice. This is something that you've done in many different lifetimes. You brought in this wisdom, and there's an essence of you that's absolutely beautiful and can be hurt really easily. You've opened yourself up to these energies because you want everybody to be okay. Well, not everybody's going to be okay, and it's not your responsibility to make sure that they are okay. What it is your responsibility to do to make sure you're okay. So stop focusing on everybody and letting in the subjective amount of truth into your life. They projected upon you, this darkness is projected upon you. And when I say darkness, it's not evil, but it's ignorant. And if you let it in, it festers a little bit, right? It's made your heart sad. And on top of that, it's made you doubt yourself a little bit. How dare you doubt yourself, pile 3? You're not here to do anything with that darkness. You've dealt with that darkness in many different lifetimes. You're here to rise up against it, or beyond it, not against it because it's not good or bad. You're here to rise up beyond it. And that will happen when you realize that your self-acceptance is you. You will stand in your own power. You do not need to take on other people's versions of truth anymore. You only need to adhere to your own version of truth. And you can trust the truth that you have. You can trust your intuition. And let me tell you, If at some point, your truth needs to be tweaked, you will be working with your angels and they will show you that on your own realm. You do not need to be corrected by somebody who has a subjective version of truth. So stop letting it happen. Then your heart will heal. You'll be able to stand in your own power. You'll be able to integrate back into your world. Focus on your own truth and your own truth only. See this woman here? This beautiful woman, she's underwater. Now her nose is underwater, and this is what you've done. You've been focusing on everything and not been focusing on yourself. You put other energies, you've let other energies influence your sense of truth. So come up from feeling as though you're underwater. The moon is here. You're ready to do this. Now, this is a pattern that you've done before. Some of you, pile 3, again, this is a general reading, but some of you, pile 3, I don't know if you were outrightly told this or this is what you got from how you grew up and then society sort of really solidified this. But some of you have been told that either be seen or not heard, or that what is that saying that's absolutely ridiculous? I think, you can gather more flies with honey than you can with, this idea that, that be nice in all circumstances because it's better for you to be nice in all circumstances. I would say for you, pile 3, that's not the way to go. Some people need to be put in their place. Some people need to hear the absolute truth, the universal sense of truth, whether they like it or not. You keep saying it. You're dumbing yourself down sometimes when the subjective truth comes in and you allow them their point of view. And then there's a part of you in your throat chakra that wants to say something else. But somewhere along the line, subconsciously, you've been told, let them have it. It doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter to you. Speak your truth. You don't have to hold your tongue. Speak your truth and move on. You don't have to engage in a fight, but you can speak your truth and still walk away. And when you stand in your own power like that, you accept all aspects of yourself. You get back on your path. And for those of you who are wanting love and beauty and abundance in your life, you've been working really hard for it, and this is the way to get it. You really need to release that subjectivity of truth that's lodged its way into its heart. And I tell you, there's something with your throat chakra too. For those of you who sing, put on your music, whatever you need to do, you need to get that throat chakra moving again and get back into your universal sense of truth. So let's just, all right. We've got the fairy deck here. The fairy tarot. Let's see what the fairies say about this too. Let's get you some more messages. All right, so I'm feeling this one. Okay, Princess of Winter. Information that can help you, but may also be difficult to hear. Speaking the truth with kindness. This is definitely you. Okay, so 7 of Autumn. Have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next step. A prudent investment of time or money. So this is just really sitting in what we were saying before in this beauty. Information that can help or heal you, but may be difficult to hear. So this is specifically for you using your universal truth. Now, when you use your universal truth and you speak it, you get more powerful. You ground into your own energy and you can integrate into the world and do far more beauty in this world than you do if you just hold on or swallow your truth. Now, the other person that has a subjective version of truth may not want to hear your truth. They may not, but I promise you on some level, it may hurt and they may come at you like a vixen or some sort of demon, the way that they come at you, like splurting, like really like nasty stuff. And that's because something in their soul knows the universal truth and they don't like hearing it. It doesn't mean just because they don't like hearing it that you shouldn't say it. Stand back in your power and do this. You can trust yourself to speak your truth with kindness and with integrity. You can trust yourself to do that because you're working beyond the ego. You're not doing this to get one up on somebody else. You're doing this to bring this sense of universal truth back into the world. And you're not here to facilitate this sort of subjectivity and this ignorant way of being that's already crumbling all around us. We're here to bring in a new age of compassion and beauty and working together, and to stand with those who have been in and around injustice. You're here to do all of that work. So give yourself a platform from which to heal, and to release all of this subjectivity, and negativity that you've let into your life, and let integrate a little bit. It's going to be really easy to do. If it sounds intense, oh my God, how do I do it? You just step back into your power, go back into your universal truth, use that throat chakra, ground into your own power and energy, and just release. In meditation, see where that has gone. Like I said, you've got a weariness sense to you, because you've been taking on this energy. Nobody wants you to, and you're not supposed to. So release it, especially from your heart. Your sacral chakra also has it too. And a little bit from your third eye can come in, because that's going to connect you with your own sense of universal truth and be able to clear all of that. Like one meditation that's designed to clear out all of the subjectivity will be able to do it. There's not much work for you to do. It's just the realization and the focus on your own energy will automatically pull that through, that negativity through. So let's do one more. Here, messages from your unicorns of love and light. And let's be clear, if you do this, when you do this, because I know that you will, pile 3, it's a very easy process, and then you'll be able to walk into all the things, the abundance that you want. 8 of Staves. Yes, new things coming. Absolutely. I love it. All right. So stepping back into your power, that stagnation that you felt before, will leave. I promise you. The 8 of Staves, news coming, good news coming, moving forward. In order to move you forward, some significant events are coming in, and they're very positive. They're going to move you forward in your career, or I don't know if career is the right word, in what it is that you're supposed to do in this lifetime. Love is coming in, the essence of love. You can already feel that energy. I think for those of you who are already resonating with this, you can feel, again, you may have dreamt about them, or you can feel that you're ready for love, but the sadness has been sort of blocking you and making you feel stuck. Now, this is easily eradicated, like we've said, to make room for the beauty that's coming in. Now, for some of you, there will be contracts signed. For some of you, definitely meeting new people, which will lead you to your new love, a new way or division of working within the world, whether you get a new job or your promotion or something that's slightly different, but very much in line with who you are and what you're supposed to do in this lifetime, using your unique gifts. So again, if you're worried that you will not be moving forward, the message is that you will. The best thing that you can do, instead of pushing forward with this heavy heart, is to sit still, to have patience, to not worry, and to take your time to rest and to release all that you feel is holding you back, whether you realize it or not, and to reintegrate your throat chakra so you can speak your universal truth. This is your downtime. You're about to get real busy, pile 3, moving into the next stage of your life. So don't worry about if you feel stagnant. Just really focus on releasing, getting back into your true power and your true sense of worth, and know that everything is about to move. Now, when it happens, it'll happen really, really quickly. If you've done the step of relaxation and releasing what no longer serves you, you will not feel overwhelmed when this energy comes in. And again, time is non-linear, it's man-made, so it's very difficult in some ways to figure out. But I would say within 3 months, your life is going to be quite different to how it is. So take that time, universal sense of truth, shed that subjective sense of truth, and get back to who you are. And I promise you, the stagnation will feel completely different. It won't feel as though you're stagnant. You will feel ready for anything. You will rejuvenate your sense of self and your sense of acceptance and your sense of power. We did have the Queen of Pentacles reversed, but we're going to turn that back up, because that's you. You hold everything that you need. This is your power, and you just need to turn it back right up. You are a queen. You do have the sense of power and truth. And yes, it does intimidate people. We're not saying it doesn't intimidate people, but really allowing people to intimidate you because you hold this sense of truth can no longer be tolerated. It's time for you to stand in the truth of who you are. So, pile 3. This is amazing for you. I'm really excited about the next 3 months for you. If this reading resonated, feel free to give me a thumbs up or a like. Let me know in the comments. Do feel free to subscribe if you feel as though this message of love and light and this kind of support is something that you're interested in having on a regular basis. I would love to have you. If not, no worries. And until we meet again, Pile 3, you take care of yourself now. Bye-bye.